welcome to the short video training module on managing your business schedule and your work-life balance. This is a really important topic because whether you're working within a large corporation and you're working 50, 60 hours a week, or you're a CEO or a small business owner or head of our business department and you have more autonomy, managing how you run your life and your business life long-term can have huge impacts on your health, your happiness, and your success. Typically the most balanced people who are doing things they're passionate about and really great at are the ones that are most successful. And what I'm going to talk about here is 3 models of approaching work-life balance that have a lot to do directly with being a business manager or a business owner. So you can see 3 different perspectives, maybe mesh a couple of those into your own interpretation, or maybe at least just consider these different perspectives and see how you currently look at these ideas kind of naturally or historically within your own business career. So the first idea comes from Tim Ferriss, who wrote the book, The 4-Hour Workweek. This book, if you haven't read it, is great because it kind of changes how you see work. His idea and premise behind the book is that the model of work for 40 years until you're 65 years old is dead. People don't want to work for 40 years before they live the life they want. They want to have a balanced lifestyle right now, have decent time off, have good health benefits now, have good travel now, maybe live in locations that are ideal now, and not wait till they're 65 before they're living the life that they'd really enjoy. They don't want to sacrifice their whole youth to enjoy their retirement. And in the 4-Hour Workweek, it's all about how to work more efficiently, how to only work a few hours a day, or as the title of the book suggests, a few hours a week. Most people find it more realistic to have a 2 to 4 work hour day, not week, but the whole idea and premise of the book is to work less, enjoy your life now, and have a balanced lifestyle. It's not realistic for everybody, but it's one viewpoint of an ideology to kind of aim towards in terms of not putting off your whole life and working yourself to death in hopes that you can enjoy your life later. Another model, which I actually brought up on a mastermind call with somebody in my mastermind group, was that, and it was after mentioning this book, was that he saw it as quite the opposite situation. He saw not delivering value, not creating new products and services, not running his business, and not having anything productive to do as absolute depression. He would have no ability to be creative, he would be lethargic, he'd have no goals, no pressure to get productive things done. So he saw non-work or not much work as really kind of depressing and a totally bad thing. He saw work as really fulfilling, and he got a ton of fulfillment out of the type of work that he did. So in his case, he thought it would be really dumb to try to work only 2 to 4 hours a day. He loves what he does. Working 8, 10 hours a day is totally fine, and he gets to balance the rest of his life enough in his case. So I thought that was a really interesting contrast. It's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum of 4-Hour Workweek. I mean, his book would be called 50-Hour Workweek, and how great that is. And that's so much different than what Tim Ferriss's book is about. And the third comparison is with a marketer named Frank Kern. He gave a speech at a conference about 3 years ago about his ideal day. Basically, his story is that he was running a business that was doing fairly well, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and then he had a couple big product launches, brought in over $1 million in a single day a couple of times, and literally got to the point where he was not only a millionaire, but he had over $1 million cash in his bank account. He could buy anything in the world he wanted. He could live anywhere he wanted to. He could buy any product, service, anything. And when he got to that point, he was driving a Ferrari around where he lived in Virginia. He was already in a big house, but he'd spend all his time looking around at oh, what big house should we buy next? We have the money. We should upgrade our house. That's what you do when you have more money. And he spent all of his life about how to spend his money and what he's going to do with this money. And he said it'd feel like a total dick driving around town in his Ferrari. Everyone's staring at him, asking him questions about his Ferrari, and he was miserable. He said it was the worst time of his life because his whole life he thought, I want to make $1 million and buy a Ferrari and have a big fat house with 0 debt. And when he finally got there, he had no more goals, he had no more motivation. People were constantly asking questions about his money, questions about his Ferrari. He had more stress in managing all his money, trying not to lose all his money, trying to manage his business in the process. He had so many customers that some of them would become unhappy because of all the customer service management that was needed as his business grew so fast. the systems weren't in place to handle all those complexities. But the main problem was he had reached this ultimate goal he had set for himself, and now he has nothing. He was kind of like empty. There's nothing else to work towards, nothing else to go towards. And I thought that was a really interesting story, because he said what he decided after that was to sell everything, sell a Ferrari, sell a house, move his whole family, his kids and his wife, out to San Diego. He started living on the beach after that. And what he decided was he was no longer going to live for one ultimate goal that was tangible and could ever be reached. And that might sound bad when you first hear that part, but instead what he did was try to design his ideal day. And if you're a business manager in a large corporation, there's only going to be certain degrees to which you can do this, but there's always a degree to which you can design your ideal day, even if you're working 50 hours a week or more. If you're a business owner, you might have more latitude and autonomy to do more of this type of a thing. But what he decided was that he was going to design his ideal day, which means he was going to wake up in the morning. If the waves were good, he was going to go surfing. He was going to have a healthy breakfast, meet with a business friend, shoot some video content, get a new product or service developed, maybe go out to dinner with some friends, hang out with his family, play with his kids, and then do something relaxing in the evening. And that was his ideal day. He didn't want to be stressed out on the computer all day. He didn't want to be traveling nonstop. He didn't want to be going to seminars and giving speeches every month. He didn't want to be doing all of that, and he didn't want to be making $20 million a year or get my business to $100 million a year. He wanted to have the ideal day because he realized that every single day of his life he wanted to enjoy it and have a balanced, enjoyable, fun life, instead of working his whole life again, sacrificing for that $1 million payday. So Frank Kern's is a little bit more of a compromise in between the two. In his case, he didn't want to work 50 hours a week. He still does work a lot, I'm sure. But he's not trying to work 4 hours a week, and he's not trying to work 50 hours a week, and he's trying to do it in a fulfilling way. So see his is kind of a middle road that can look a little bit unrealistic to some people, but could be an ideology, again, to aim towards. And I just wanted to discuss all three of these models: the 4-hour work week, the person from my mastermind group that works for fulfillment and he loves it, and the Frank Kern ideal day model. And just think to yourself as an exercise, which three do you fit with most comfortably? Which three of the three have you been using in your own life? And in the future, which three will be most effective and fulfilling for your own business goals and where you're at right now in your own business career in business management development or business ownership development? So I hope you found this video insightful. I know these types of ideas are really interesting to me in being a business manager and owner myself, so I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to make more money.